Yo, what's cracking, everybody? What's cracking?
Hey.
Back with another episode of the Specktators podcast. I'm your host, Packy, alongside Q the Bars.
Hey.
Dagler.
What up?
Moti. It's Wednesday.
Wetty.
True.
Feels like it's been a minute since we've been in here.
I know, that shit's crazy, ain't it?
Only two
Like
extra
2
days just threw it
yeah,
off like
yeah.
crazy.
When you get into the patterns.
I know. For those that didn't hear last week, we will be doing this on Wednesdays from now on, due to Moti becoming a dad.
Real life shit.
That's how you feel about it?
Yo, we were just talking and he was saying how real shit's
Weren't there
getting.
other reasons other than that? That's why I gave it to
No, that's pretty much
No,
it.
No,
I thought that was
definitely the only
reason.
reason.
Bullshit.
That's what I thought.
You probably your golf league too, other than that.
More of that than anything.
Right.
World revolves around mode.
I was just texting Joel, like asking him how everything was going, and he was asking about you. He was like, "Do you think Mo's ready?" And I was like, "Shit, probably not." But he was like, "Yeah, I wasn't either, man. You just kind of is what it is."
Yeah.
But typical Joel, like always has some deep shit to say about it, some knowledgeable shit to say about it.
It's not a bad thing.
Yeah, I know. He's just like you, especially as a entrepreneur. He's like, you find it harder to like think more than 24 hours. It's just like you're doing shit every hour for this living being and trying to like keep it good. And
Yeah, that's real.
I mean, previously you think about your business all the time, like what do I got to do for next week and what blah blah. He's like, that's probably the weirdest thing for me so far, but yeah, that's gonna be you pretty soon, Mo. Month and a half.
Killing it.
Yeah, we're about to pop bottles on that episode.
Milk bottles.
Ah.
Hey,
I don't think you want any of that.
125K subscribers for the channel.
Oh, tight.
Wow.
Real tight.
Salute to the trill ones.
Shout out you guys. I thought wow. Someone's applauding somewhere.
You got to do better about talking over my shit.
What?
It's not like a
You always like
choir.
pause every time I hit something. Oh, that's a cool sound effect.
Well, you better be on time with the sound effects. Yeah, I mean, dude, it took what? It took us like 6 or 7 years to get 100K subscribers for the channel. And then like another 4 years to get the next 25K. So, I mean, just for all those people starting shit out there and trying to stick with stuff, like it's not always magical. It doesn't just happen. So, I mean, yeah, those first 100 came a lot quicker than the next 100 will.
Right.
But it's just, hey, 25K is better than 0 too.
Absolutely. Yeah.
If someone started a channel today and 4 years later had 25K subscribers, that'd be solid.
Hell yeah.
Sure.
So yeah, for all those people asking, I just had a couple people I hit up today and responding in Instagram DMs about like, I wanting to get started with music, wanting to get started with this, what do I do? And a lot of it is just get started and stay consistent and see what happens. But yeah, so shout out to you guys for the commitment to the channel and putting people on, all that shit.
Yeah.
For anybody that's tuned in live, I wanted to ask, and I haven't even had a chance to talk to you since you kind of just showed up to the studio today, Mo, but I'm thinking about putting the 16s just up on streaming platforms when I drop them. Like, basically as a, like, why not? Because I used to be all worried. I used to be all worried about, my page being clean and like, oh, this is an official drop and blah, blah, blah. But the more I get in this shit and the more streaming becomes a thing and it's just like this microwave music here one day and gone the next, it's like, if you have something that people want to listen to, why not put it up and listen to it?
I do wish that was on Spotify.
Like
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
The last
I mean, I've
person.
had enough people say that. Even if it ends up being 10 people that want it, it's like, why not? So my page looks cleaner.
Mo, tell him why not.
How would you format it? Like,
I would just have to I would want to do some type of artwork for everyone where it becomes a thing that it's like, this is a
also
freestyle. This is,
Moti's job.
well, it'd be the same thing for everyone.
okay, like say you do that though for this one.
I actually basically do the new ones.
And then you want to make a full song out of it. What are the titles?
Well, that would be. I wouldn't want to make. I've never made a full song out of a Spec 16.
I feel like you have.
No, I did one out of when we did the 0 to 60s. I did one, but other than that, I've never made a full song out of a Spec 16.
Word.
Do you think that'd be stupid or?
I mean, you pretty much just be, if you ever did want to make a full song out of them, you really couldn't, because what would be the title other than like remix or whatever? Because the title would be.
But if I've never done it, then who the fuck cares?
Can you take them
I'm
down?
just saying.
Yeah, you could always take it down and put it up as the new thing.
You could.
Sounds like a go to me.
All right, done deal. Game of Thrones, Dags, give us the rundown.
Yeah, tell us
it's
what.
really fucking dumb, terrible episode.
You are such a hater.
Bro, you know what's so crazy is like, I was looking to him like, damn, he's really about to do this. And then I'm like, oh, okay.
Nah.
Okay. Yeah, we're in the same.
Dragons don't do much for me.
If I hear one more person say that.
Dragons don't do much for me.
Dragons aren't even in it until like what? Fucking season
Yo, what?
4?
Then
Wait,
that's
so
pretty misleading, huh?
Am I missing something here? Did you tried Game of Thrones out, or
I've seen one episode.
Yo,
I've never liked anything like that. Like, I don't like Lord of the Rings, like Packy probably gets off on. I don't like Harry Potter, like Packy definitely gets off on.
Love Harry Potter.
Like, that shit's just not for me. I know it's not, so I don't waste my time with it.
No, that's real. That's real.
Love Harry Potter.
what were we saying about
There's a
Dag's
shit ton of
taste
people like that.
in like
that
movies
like
and
Harry
stuff?
Potter.
If it doesn't involve like an athlete or
If it doesn't involve sports or something else,
Murder.
I don't remember.
damn, what was the other thing? Because we were making fun of him with anything like involving space, like he didn't fuck with or something like that.
I don't. Star Wars, fucking none of it. I just don't like that shit.
It's just
I mean,
bizarre.
teach their own.
Yeah.
Thrones, though, I will say, because I mean, you just proved me wrong with Harry Potter, but I was gonna say I'm not normally into like the medieval shit.
Mhm.
But I did like a lot. I got into Game of Thrones late. I wasn't just on it like everybody
did
else
I.
was, and it took a minute to get into it. Like
Yeah.
you do have to commit to a few episodes and
I
whatever.
also
But
don't want to do that.
yeah, I mean,
That's
if
the
you don't
thing.
want to,
You have to want
Yeah.
to be into it.
and that's the thing. Knowing you, and like I can just see it's not your style, whatever.
Mhm.
Some people that just hate on Game of Thrones are just the fucking ADD people that don't want to actually pay attention to a TV show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Or I've never even watched an episode.
right.
But I mean, I've seen
is that
a bunch.
the same thing with you? It's just not your style.
Correct.
Okay.
I've seen a lot of episodes just randomly. Whenever I would go to my dude Bishop's house, it would always be on a Sunday, always in the evening, and he'd always be watching that shit.
Yeah.
So I'm like, damn, I feel like I've seen like 5 seasons, but it's still like, it's just not my thing.
The thing is, too, it's like you can't just. I probably would feel the same way if I just caught this and this. If you're not following the storyline, then it's not going to be fucking interesting. You know what I mean?
And plus, I don't know. I don't watch too much TV anyway, like at
Yeah.
all. So it's just, I don't know.
I actually found, because when Thrones came back on, I was like, I went through a period of time where I had a few different series that I would watch.
Mhm.
And now that Thrones is back, that's the first one I've really watched, paid attention to in a while. As far as TV series go, I'll watch like little
Yeah.
Netflix like documentaries and stuff like that.
Yeah, I don't watch shit. I don't have any shows that I watch.
Really,
What
That's
do you
like
watch,
my
Apple
only one
TV and shit?
left.
Yeah, I watch games.
of Thrones,
Fucking
Games of Thrones.
Space games.
But good first episode. No, Monty.
I heard it sucked.
Yeah,
I thought it was straight.
Yeah, I thought
It's
I
the
mean,
first
it
episode,
was
so they
the-
got to get everything back on track.
Well, they
and-
were trying to like recap and like set the storyline for the last season.
How
Did you
long-
really hear that
how
it was
long-
whack? People thought it was whack.
Yeah.
I feel like you're always gonna hear that shit.
No,
I didn't
yeah.
look. I didn't look. For
What?
any of those.
I don't
How
trust- I
long
don't
was it
trust it.
between the last season and this one? Like 2 years or something.
Could be something like that.
Internet.
Yeah, I don't know.
That shit's dumb.
What
too.
is Moti here for again?
I'm not sure.
To engage in the conversation.
Okay.
Oh yeah. That's right. That's right.
Yeah, probably something like that.
That's stupid.
Don't hate.
How'd you feel about Space Jam, Dax?
Oh shit,
I actually
space.
like that. That was a good one. Yeah, that was a good one.
Space
But it
and
had,
athletes.
but it had athletes in it.
How do you feel about the second one?
I think it's gonna probably be terrible.
How come?
LeBron James.
LeBron.
LeBron James.
Let's how about Giannis becoming my favorite, more and more my favorite player,
Dog.
just by everything he does.
Dude.
Talk about it.
If you talk about Giannis, we have to talk about, unfortunately, guys.
Well, yeah,
dang it,
we
we're
will.
so trash.
But
Dude, you guys put me on to Giannis more than I was aware of him because you were talking about him as one of your favorite players, and I was like,
yeah,
I'm not really even aware of what type of personality he is or anything, or I don't watch him play that often. Let me take a peek. And then All-Star Weekend, and then I started to watch the Bucks the second half of the season. Dude, he's top 3 favorite player for me.
Yeah,
yeah,
he's dope.
he's the man.
I
mean,
like
he-
him a lot.
I definitely, because he's that real chill. You know what I mean? He doesn't say too much.
And he's a competitor. Like, he's
Yeah,
not – he's
chill
one of
out.
the few
Hard
guys
as
that
fuck.
isn't just trying to be buddy-buddy all the fucking time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he just does a lot of things that are dope. Like that, for one, like when he said, I'm not training with other guys during the off season. Like, why the fuck would I do that? I'm playing
Mhm.
against these guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's dope.
Just sticking it out at a team that's not like a major market team. Who gives a fuck? Saying no to LeBron. He said, I don't want to fucking be a movie star. I'm a basketball player.
That's dope.
Wow.
Yeah.
Incredible.
Hulu has live sports.
He spent his first check he got from the NBA. He like gave it all back to his community.
Mm-hmm.
And
I remember hearing about that.
So much of it that he literally didn't have like any money. He didn't realize that he gave everything he had away, and he had to run to the arena for his first game because he had no money to get a cab. They said, and some fans picked him up on the way, and they were like, "Hey,
That's so dope.
aren't you,
what
aren't you
the
on our
fuck?
team?" So
Yeah.
I
And he
mean,
didn't fit in their car, so he had to keep running.
Exactly. They had to beat him.
No, he's dope, man, and actually figures with the playoffs going on, another like him and probably the only other person I can definitively name as my probably 2 favorite players right now, Dame Lillard,
yeah.
is balling too,
Yeah, he's
and they're up 2-0 on the Thunder.
Yeah, he's balling out of control.
Yeah,
I get like everybody's really surprised by that, even though they're seated higher.
I know. Yeah,
But I mean, like, I guess I just think because OKC gets so much more fucking
I was
attention.
just about to say Portland's
You
not on
know.
TV ever.
Portland should be. They're fucking nice.
They're always like the
They're
3
fun to
seed
watch,
every year.
too.
yeah.
But
I like Portland a lot. It was making me think though, and I know we've had 1 or 2 episodes where we've kind of had to like question Russ a little bit, but dude, Russ is so weird because when the Thunder first became a thing,
mm,
I was a big Russ fan.
mm.
And I actually liked KD, and Harden wasn't really talked about much. He was, 6-man type guy.
Yeah.
And they made that run when they were all really young to the finals. Then Harden left for Houston. KD leaves for Golden State. And dude, I was thinking, okay, Russ, he's a baller. He's like, he'll be fine. PG came. Like, they're gonna be nice.
Mhm.
I was of the impression Russ is a top 5 hooper in the league. Like,
Mhm.
he's gonna fucking ball. And stat wise, he has like 3 straight triple-double years. But dude, he hasn't gotten out of the first round. He's down 2-0 now to the Blazers. And yeah, like you said, Blazers are a higher seed. But if Russ is who a lot of people act like Russ is,
Mhm.
and PG's no joke, Steven Adams is a solid big. Like
Mhm.
they got a solid team that and a lot of it has been together for at least a few years now. I don't know, man. You got to question Russ a little bit as far as just a winner, like a guy that can do something for a team and not just be a dope hooper on his own.
Mm.
I mean, I don't know. I'm not in the locker room, but in that scenario, like you said, like he's putting up numbers and shit. Like the numbers are there. I mean, minus last night, but in general, like as a whole. But that makes me question like leadership a little bit and how he's received. I mean, he seems to get along with everybody good, but just like all these antics and shit, like are these dudes following you because of your example and how you're playing on the court, or is they falling into the other shit that you like to get into with every team? It seems like, every team there's some like big fucking, like Joel Embiid said, like he's always in his feelings about every team they play. Like just go out there and fucking compete and win.
Yeah.
I think a lot. I mean, I can't say that. Like I don't pay attention to him enough to like definitively say that. But it's if your numbers are triple double every fucking game, pretty much, like your numbers aren't the problem. But maybe you aren't getting enough out of the other guys on your team besides PG's.
Right. And that's fair to say. And then, but the flip side of that coin is if you're getting a triple double every night, whatever, then you're doing your job and maybe you just don't have the help around you.
Well, I agree.
So I don't know. It's hard to put my finger on, but that is the one thing that we've talked about before is like even the little highlight last night with he and Dame Lillard had the little. I mean, it was nothing, but it displays Westbrook. Like, dude, Lillard was just playing defense, bro, and Westbrook's always like on the fucking cliff of going, like on the edge of going overboard with somebody. He plays the game on edge, and that was what I loved about him when he first came into the league. And all of a sudden, I don't like it as much, and I don't know, maybe it's just a me thing.
But I don't like it. I can't stand it. I used to like Russ too, more than I do.
I fuck with Russ just like Russ. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, he's definitely not the most efficient scorer. Like, although he's averaging the triple-double, his just shooting percentage is not good.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I think the dudes have no choice but to follow him. Just like, besides the fact that he's a star player, that he goes harder than everybody. Just like you said, that's his shit, is just to try harder. He's the ultimate try hard, like in the most positive way. So he kind of sets the bar as far as that goes, but I don't know. I can't really defend like the shooting percentage.
Well, and from
a lot of threes.
To your point, from a pure basketball perspective, maybe it's something as simple as like, dude, the league is built on shooting now, and really Paul George is the only guy that's knocking him down from the perimeter.
And after he got his shoulder injury, he's been
So I don't know, but it's just interesting to watch. I want the Blazers to win. I like Lillard. I like McCollum. I like the Blazers a lot, so I'd like to see them.
Do you want it to be over quick?
No, I want to see a good series. There's no one I like.
Decent games.
There's no one in the NBA I like enough to not want to see a good series.
Even
Pistons.
I want that shit to just get over with.
I hate the Pistons enough to want them to get smoked. Dude, it's
not hate. It's just disappointment.
It's hate. Because, bro, they do this every year.
Yes.
And then it makes you question, like we had talked about before, how we actually kind of, as far as he himself, we actually kind of like Blake Griffin. Like he seems to have put on, like he's tough. He's just picking up his lunch pail, going to work type shit. But now here we are in the playoffs, and he's nowhere to be found. And okay, injuries. I'm not that man. I can't talk about what he's feeling, blah blah blah. But that's what people said when he came to Detroit. He's injury prone.
Did he play in like the last couple games of the season to get in the playoffs?
He sat one game and then he played and then he sat. But I know he sat in our last game against the Knicks where we had to win to get in the playoffs and we smoked them anyways. But like, dude, the
Knicks aren't trying to win.
It's just like, so we do all this battling to get the 8 seed, which sucks anyway. Then we don't have Blake Griffin in the like. Why? Why even get there?
To say that we didn't miss the playoffs.
I hate us, bro.
It's Detroit, yo.
I hate us.
I mean,
we gotta just hang in
can't
there.
say that I'd rather not be in the playoffs than fucking.
Yo, listen.
I would.
The Browns are
I know
turning
you
around
would,
and
but-
shit. The Clippers are turning around just in general. They're about to get somebody big in the offseason. It can happen. And we've already experienced the dope shit with the Pistons, but I'm just saying.
But dude, that's the problem. Why are the Browns turning around for the most part? The draft. Like, yeah, they just got OBJ, but they have Baker Mayfield now. Like, they got themselves a quarterback after how many tries in the draft? Like, they've had
That's
to
what
suck
I'm saying, though.
to get that quarterback. The Pistons, since fucking 2000, God knows when, like at least a decade, we get the 9th pick.
Yeah, but we do dumb shit with it.
But dude,
Like we're not ever picking the right
But
person,
bro,
no
that-
matter where the fuck.
okay,
we're
look at
drafted.
like I feel like I talked about this on one of our first podcasts with the Pistons. Like, look at the Sixers, bro. They had like 4 straight years of top 3 picks, and only half of them were like good players. Ben Simmons and Embiid. They also got Jahlil Okafor and Markelle Fultz, and that's with top 3 picks. A couple of them were number 1 picks, I think. So when you're getting the number 9 pick, yeah, once in a while you might get Andre Drummond, but other than that, like, yeah, it's easy to look back in hindsight and be like,
Didn't you just say Philly had the top 3 picks 4 years and 2 of them sucked?
yeah.
So if you get in the 9th pick, I mean, you don't know either way, but you're just not. How many years in a row have you watched the draft and been like, what the fuck? Why did we take him?
Yeah, but at the same time, like I remember sitting with you at a Lugnuts game when the draft was going on one year, and we were both like, why the fuck didn't we take Justice Winslow? And it's like, he ain't no stud or anything anyways. So yeah, we might have been like,
Yeah,
what the
but
fuck
at
were
the
we
time
doing?
that-
But it's not like the opposite. It's not like the other choice is balling now. There's only one.
Doesn't he start?
I don't know, on a non-playoff team though. If he starts, like, I mean, Luke Kennard's putting up points, but it's not like I'm like, dude, we got Luke Kennard. I mean, you know what I'm saying? It's just
Not really.
you can get decent hoopers, fine. You ain't gonna get the guys that are gonna actually give you a chance to win championships. And ain't no free agents coming to Detroit.
Unless the draft is like deep, like something like that's happening there. Not this year, really, but you know, it happens every once.
I'm
in a
not
while.
saying it can't happen. I'm just
I
saying
know.
your
Well,
chances
and the
are
thing is
so slim.
The Pistons, we have a fucking ship in the past.
The thing is, you
Right,
have to,
so we can't complain too
You
much.
have to go
Lions,
through
that's a problem.
Yeah.
these years of like being all right. You can't just go from literally the shittiest team in the league getting the first round picks to championship. Like you have to be in the middle for some point in time.
How many years?
Oh wow.
Bro, this has been going on since like
Wow.
it's been at least a decade. Like you got to either start sucking or start doing well. It can't just that's what I hate about it. It isn't just like
I mean, some would argue that making the playoffs is doing well. Right?
See, that's what I'm saying.
You know.
That's why. So people like that
Not
that
me.
say we made the playoffs. See, it's better than not.
No,
making
you're
the
right. It's
playoffs.
all about perspective. But dude, to me, the goal of a team is to win a championship, right?
Correct.
And I will
Compete
agree.
for it.
Right. I will. That's the thing. I will agree that not everyone gets to win a championship. But when I look at a team like the Sixers, right? Do I think they're going to win the ship? No.
Right.
Or the Celtics. Do I think they're going to win the ship? No, I don't.
Mm-hmm.
Could they?
Mm-hmm.
I think they could. I think either of those teams could beat Milwaukee.
Do you think the Clippers could win?
This year, no. I don't. But if they get a stud next year,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. But I guess that's my thing is like, so these teams have been doing something to get themselves to this point where, hey, there's zero chance the Pistons could win a ship. Zero. And it's been like that for 12 years, 13 years, 14 years. I don't know.
Why do you think I didn't get freaking pumped when we got Blake? Because it's like,
Yeah.
It's
something to root for.
And he was way better than I expected. So I'm not even going to sit here in front like that. But it wasn't like someone that you know is going to get us just over the top.
Well, it's because, too, in the draft, when you get these studs, you don't got to pay them for X amount of years. Like Blake Griffin was already.
You can also make moves for draft picks,
Yeah. Which I'd be down for.
which we don't do.
But yeah,
Right.
exactly. We need to be in the front office.
Right.
It's the
Dude,
front
on
office,
2K,
right?
I can always.
It's the front office to me.
we
Like
negotiate.
I can't blame players for
No, never.
Rather
I'm not-
be,
it's the
they'd
front
rather
office.
be in the playoffs than fucking.
I'm
be,
not blaming players.
than blowing games so that we can get a
No.
draft pick.
I'm not blaming players at all.
Right.
I'm
Well,
not
I
blaming
mean-
coaches. I'm blaming GM.
Mm-hmm.
Because
Yeah, but you're wanting the Pistons to tank so we can get a pick.
yeah, but I'm not saying you, Blake Griffin, go out there and suck. I'm saying, why are you, Blake Griffin, on my team? It's not your fault. It's the GM that brought you here.
Mm-hmm. Listen.
Like, dude, how can you deny this? Don't you agree that you got to pick a strategy, right? How are we going to be a successful team? How are we going to win? That's my problem with the Pistons is I don't think they've picked any type of strategy. I think they're just like, well, it's the offseason again. What's some random thing we could do? Like, remember how many years ago when it was like, oh, we actually freed up some money. Okay, we're going to sign Ben Gordon and Charlie Villanueva to max contracts. What?
Yeah.
So then we're locked up for the next 4 years with
Yeah.
average ass players.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's that type of shit that bugs me. It isn't the fact that, oh, we're not winning
I
championships.
forgot about that shit.
I just feel like you got to either be winning championships or getting some ping pong balls, or competing for championships
Yeah.
or getting some ping pong balls. And if you have a few years in the middle in the process, fine, but not 12. Dags agrees.
All right, moving on.
What about the Masters? How do you guys feel about it? Fucking
Super
Q.
chat roll call real quick.
All right.
Oh, roll
Shout
call.
out Brian Jansen for the $1.
Yo, Brian.
Is
Is that
Jansen.
Z Brian
Tag.
Jansen?
I think
Good
so.
What up,
looks.
Jansen?
What up,
How come you don't invite me to hoop anymore?
Jansen?
And then we got Shan30 with the $2 super chat.
Hey,
Good
tag,
look,
tag,
Shane
tag.
30.
H-U.
What's up?
UD. Yeah.
You guys watch any of that?
Watch like every second of it.
No, watch none of it. But I just knew it was
Dude,
gonna happen.
you're just on point.
Yeah,
You
but
know
your
what I'm
pick
talking
one,
about?
though.
I know. I knew it was gonna happen for it. That's why I
fucked
watched.
Dude,
I wish I
Masters,
could bet on that shit.
Masters is one of my favorite sporting events
Easily.
of the year.
It's the Masters.
That's crazy that it just comes back to back with March Madness. It's overload.
A lot of good sports in this time of year for sure.
Dude, Tiger, first major in 11 years.
Mm-hmm.
I got to be honest, as an avid golf fan, when he was shanking chips and stuff
When the
a few
chip
years
yips,
ago,
they were scary.
bro, I said put a fork in him.
Oh yeah.
Like, he might be able to get back to where he can, you know, make cuts and have fun playing golf, but he ain't getting back to winning majors.
Not at all.
I stand corrected.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to physically and stuff. I agree. It was hard to visualize him
He's a fuse
doing
back.
great, but just mentally with a person like that, like a once in a generation type of athlete, I don't know that you can ever like count those people out. You know, like he's gonna work hard to get back. Like, you know, Michael Jordan was gonna work hard to get back. Like, those type of people, they're just with that crazy competitiveness. I don't know that, like you said, I don't know that I thought, like, I still don't think he probably is gonna win. Like, he's not just gonna reel off majors now like he was at one point in his life, but I think like he could win another one. Or like I was thinking along the line, like he could do it, you know, like he just got to get hot for 4 days type of a thing.
So is he 3 shy of Jack, Mo?
I think, that's what we looked
Do you
up
think
the other day.
Do you think he'll get it?
You know, it's
That's
Maybe
almost
now.
exactly what I'm saying. Like,
You think it's like
I
the Vegas
can't-
number 3?
Yeah, I can't rule him out from
Right.
doing that, but do I think he will? I don't.
I could see like 17
50-50.
or so. I don't know.
That's the thing. It's easy.
dope.
It's easy now to be like, I got to fight that because I almost have the feeling like Tiger's back. And I know it's not.
Yo.
He's 43? So I know it's not the same as it was. I know it's not. But dude, he was starting to turn it on last year. And I don't know, man. There's just some undeniable thing about, like you mentioned, his mental game and his experience and how he thinks his way through the course.
He's playing within his ability now, I feel like.
Yeah.
It isn't the same Tiger because he's not as, like, explosive as he once was.
Yeah.
Right.
I agree.
But he's playing a completely different game.
Well, dude, one thing that I never would have even thought of, but I was listening to Gary's Bissell's podcast,
Yeah, Ray,
and he was talking about the shot on 12, the par 3 where everyone hit it in the water.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, yeah, Tiger shot at the center of the green, whatever. But really, safe wise, like the water's short, it's a very shallow green. And so there's not like some safe play other than long, you would think, right?
Right.
But like what Gary broke down on his podcast is that Tiger shot
that episode yet. So
oh, okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
Tiger, like the pin was way on the right. Tiger shot at the center of the green where there's a bunker in front and a bunker in back. And so it's like if you're short there, you're in the bunker.
Right.
As opposed to these other guys, because I understand the wind's swirling and shit like that. And so, you know, maybe they hit decent shots and the wind just knocked them down. But Tiger aims over the bunker, so even though it was a good shot and he didn't need it, if he was short, he would have been okay too. And it's just, dude, we talk about it all the time with golf. You get done with a round of golf. It takes 4 hours. You're out there, tons of shots, tons of little things. It comes down to these little tiny decisions. And Tiger seems like he's always going to be the one that makes the right ones.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I agree. And I actually noticed that right when he did that too, because, well, I noticed it more, I think, because the group before them, at least one guy went in the water.
It was
also.
2 guys.
Yeah.
So
4
remember
guys
what.
out of 6 went in the water.
Yeah.
Within 2 groups passing through that hole.
Ridiculous.
So I noticed, like, that's a smart play, period. Like you said, like, nothing can really go wrong as long as you get it to the bunker because it's not going to roll out of the bunker type, whatever. But I think, like, to your point, when he was trying to play outside of his body, like, he wasn't used to being older type of thing, and with his injuries and shit, he was making bad choices on the golf course because he thought he could do things that he couldn't. But now that he's playing this game and he's just, like, now, like you said, as long as he's putting good and doing the little things good, I mean, he's not hitting it that much shorter than these guys that he, like, can't compete or something. It's not like he's on the Champions Tour or some shit like that, which those guys bomb it too.
yeah, he can still put it out there.
So, yeah, I mean,
I'm sure there was some pressure in his head before, like, I have to be the Tiger that I was.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I even heard one of the commentators during the Masters, like, so-and-so outdrove Tiger, whoa. And the driver was like,
Oh,
280 yards or whatever, and Tiger drove it 275 or something like that. And it's like,
Mhm.
dude, good. Like,
Dude, when you
Tiger shouldn't be trying to fucking bomb the ball like 300 plus yards every time off
when you
the
think
tee.
about it, and this is no slight to his game, because obviously he's been super good at everything throughout his career. But if you think about his heyday, he came on tour and he was the longest hitter on tour, and he would bomb it and go wherever it went. He would go and had a 6 short game, and he made all his 6 to 10 footers.
Yep.
And he just was better than everybody else at doing that. Now, in the last year I've watched him, to me he seems like one of the best iron players
Yes.
on tour. And I think even this week, I think he led in greens and reg. I don't think he was like way up there in putting or way up there in driving or whatever, but greens and reg he was number 1, I think.
But the commentator said that like they had this statement or whatever, and they said Tiger made these players nowadays. He was that player back in the day, and he wasn't playing against these guys. Now it's kind of reversed. Like he's one of those guys, and he's playing against all these players that he made, the big, powerful guys that are in the gym working out, that are hitting the ball 300 yards and hitting 5 irons, fucking 250, and like just crazy shit. And that speaks to like how big of an influence he's been on the game. But just like you said, if he can figure out another aspect of his game, and he can, because he's got those years of experience on all these dudes. No matter what, they can't take that away from him. And golf's such a mental game that's why I can't really say that he can't like win more majors type shit.
Well, and his one of his post game comments, they did like this whole pretty long questioning where one of the reporters asked him something about what do you think your biggest impact on the game has been with some of these guys, something like that. And he said what you said, as far as he's like, more guys are in the gym now. Like more guys are treating it like they're athletes and blah, blah. And he was like, he mentioned one other guy, and I can't remember who. VJ. He was like, he was like, it used to be me and VJ. Yep. And he's like, now everybody's doing that. He's like, even Phil's in there.
Yo, did you see that video on Green Min's Instagram of Phil hitting the
Did you see that video of
high, Phil?
Phil had this video. He's driving to the course. It was before his grouping with Kuchar. And he was like, oh, it's going to be a great day out there or whatever. He's like, but I'm paired up with Kuchar, so there's going to be no side bets going on out there. That was funny.
Nice. Yeah, Masters was dope. I had Molinari, fucking blew it.
Yeah,
I thought I was looking good.
He had a rough finish. That was another, real quick, Tiger, once he tied for the lead, he was puring everything. Yeah. And that's how you almost could like feel like, all right, this dude's fucking locked in, because it goes one way or the other a lot of times in those situations. And it has in the past years gone the other way for Tiger. Like he's fell off but every shot off the tee, he was just fucking shaping, hitting it straight down the middle if he needs to. And then he was just sticking irons.
Well, dude, if I remember correctly, he took the lead on 15, and then he stepped up to 16 to the par 3 and just hit it to fucking kick-in range. Yep. It's like
that was it.
Yeah. And then, it even came down to the end, and Koepka had a putt to put pressure on that he missed. I like Koepka a lot. Koepka might be my favorite player, and he has a little bit of that Tiger in him, where he doesn't give a fuck about the shit going on around him. He stays pretty like stoic.
Yeah, he's one of my favorites too.
Yeah,
for sure.
It's the Tiger.
All right, let's get to some music, huh? Q, did you tell me about Beyonce?
Dude, she's goat shit.
She's goat shit.
Goat shit.
Yes,
I agree.
Queen mother goat type shit.
It's better than dog shit.
Yeah, much better. It's actually good.
So what was it? It was like she dropped a live album.
Yeah, along with like the Coachella joint that she did. I think it was last year.
Oh, it was her Coachella set?
Yeah.
Oh.
Audio. And then like kind of that set plus kind of a little bit of behind the scenes stuff. I didn't watch it because that should drop today.
Okay. Is that the Netflix thing?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Because I just clicked on it after you sent something about Beyonce in the thread, and I saw that there's this Netflix thing, and it's this like it's called Homecoming, right?
Yeah.
And it's kind of this ode to like black universities or something like that, and the performance has a lot to do with that. It looked kind of cool, but but it's basically live performance.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was because it was from last year. I think it was that last Coachella performance, and I watched that one.
Wasn't J. Cole documentary called Homecoming?
When
When he did that show at back home.
That shit was one of the dopest shit
That was really
ever.
dope.
She
Yeah.
jocking J. Cole?
He's assigned to the label, so maybe he
Wasn't Justin Stone's EP called Homecoming?
Oh, so he started it. That makes sense.
Wow. Doesn't Kanye have a song called Homecoming?
He does.
Don't high schools have Homecoming?
Yeah, didn't we go? Yo, maybe we started that shit.
Didn't I go to Homecoming?
I think I did. A few times. Yeah, no, I watched it last year, but the shit was, I didn't see the Netflix special, but the performance was stupid.
Okay.
So fire.
I'm not a Beyonce guy as far as her music. Destiny's Child was the shit. Not a big.
Who?
I mean, I'm Beyonce, but their music was dope.
Yeah,
and I'm not saying Beyonce's not dope.
No,
it's just
of
not
course,
my
of
style.
course.
You're just
Right.
not part of the Beehive.
I'm not part of the Beehive.
Nor am I.
Yeah.
Please believe it, but
You sound
do
like you're part of the
appreciate
Beehive.
hey, that's okay.
I'm more Rihanna
appreciate
than
the Queen
I'm
Mother.
more Rihanna than Beyonce musically.
Yeah.
But no, I can appreciate the performance aspect because I know she kills that.
So I would recommend watching that shit because it was fire as fuck.
Word.
My dudes, Les Twins, they were in it too. They are dope as fuck. They're like the illest dancers.
Oh yeah.
They toured with her for like 7 years, 6 or 7 years. But
I do like the when artists come out with shit in different ways. Like that always interests me to kind of look into and how that shit goes because dude, especially when you're one of those big artists, you got to like Beyonce, you can do anything.
yeah,
Like you can put your shit out any type of way you want. And so it's cool to see artists explore those different avenues
Yo,
like
her and
Netflix
Jay,
and shit like
they're
that.
just
Yeah, they've always
strong.
they tapped into that early.
Man, they're on some other world shit.
Schoolboy's dropping on the 26th.
Yeah.
Scale of 1 to 10. How excited are you guys?
I'm fucking 10.
Whoa.
10.
Oh God, I'm 10.
Shirt on fire.
Yeah, I'm very excited because it's been a very long time.
I'm excited. I'm more 7.5.
Okay.
Like I'm gonna listen to it when it comes out. I'm
Yeah.
hyped. Like he's in my
That's
upper tier of
It's a
artists.
dangerous
I'll be-
earthquake.
Right. That's crash talk. But just based off the singles, I'm not as excited as like his first album.
Yeah. Fire.
I was hyped because of the singles.
Yeah. So I'm strictly on a 10 just because it's been so long.
Yeah.
And my conclusion on Chopstick is I don't like it.
Really?
Yeah. Of course, whenever anyone drops visuals with a song, it makes me like the song more. You know, so the visuals were cool. I just can't get with the hook. And I don't know, I don't know. I don't hate it, but I just don't like it. So that would make me, you would think that would make me like, the album might not be that tight, but I'm just pumped for Q.
He's got enough built up where you can't just be like, oh, I didn't like one of the singles.
No.
So no, I
Fuck
get that.
Yeah.
I started following him on Instagram like a couple weeks ago because I saw some funny ass clip from one of his stories. He's a funny dude.
Yo, let's talk about that. It was probably the one where he's talking to J. Cole or whatever.
No, the one I saw was a couple weeks ago, but I know what one you're talking about.
Okay, so
I think did you send that?
right
kid?
after I fucking heard that shit from J. Cole on a lot,
Yeah.
and he said, you know, getting the place for machines type shit. I was like, swear to God, I had the exact same thought. I was like, why the fuck don't I just put out a song and like get these machines to give me 1 million plays and just make a bunch of money?
Well,
You know what I'm saying?
So you and Schoolboy are in the same camp.
It's just like you said, the money fake? No. Who gives a fuck?
Right.
People do grimier shit than that to make money.
Well,
like, what's the name of that machine, man?
that shit, he's funny, man. That shit was funny. But I mean, like, not to take something funny and actually dive into it, but let's dive into it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
To me, all that means is like, labels,
Yeah.
because they have just been around for so long and have such big networks where like an artist that's signed to a label, part of the machine is radio, part of the machine is Rap Caviar.
Yeah.
Part of the machine is you get to go around to all these radio stations and promote your stuff.
Right.
But
all
then J. Cole's taking advantage of that machine.
I know.
For sure.
Maybe he means.
And then
machines.
there is another aspect of like streaming farms.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah, I thought of instantly like the people that buy their followers on Instagram
Yeah.
and shit.
Right.
Which like back when people were doing, well, I still do it, but
Yeah, I
like
still do it.
back when
It was like
I was
new or
paying
something.
attention to that shit,
Mhm.
like people weren't making money off social media.
Right. They just want to look.
So it was like, wow, you look like a fucking idiot when you
Mhm.
have 500,000 followers and you have 6 likes on your
Right.
shit.
Yeah.
You know, so that was
That be
like,
them feds
you know,
on your Instagram.
you're buying your shit. Yeah, for real.
Hoes.
You're buying your shit like that. But
dude, she wants to friend me.
Like, why she got 2
Damn
pictures? No girl has 2 pictures.
right.
That was that back in the day shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I got the vibe in J. Cole shit that he was just referring to like label shit, but maybe he is referring to like streaming farm shit. I don't know.
Right. It could be like a machine you can get on like Amazon or some shit. Like, what's the name of that machine, dude?
Let me get that stream machine.
I think it is, dude.
Yeah, just spins the shit like in fast forward.
Because that's actually real. Like
yeah, hell yeah. It's too much money in that shit for
What's real?
for people. I would
streaming
think.
farms.
Oh, I
And,
know.
Like
I know.
people do inflate their numbers on there, and honestly, the weird thing about it is Spotify it is dollars and they pay out
right.
to that.
Exactly.
But I know Spotify doesn't want to. So I'm wondering, like, are music services like actively doing something about it? Or my conspiracy theory on this is it's a necessary evil because it just makes the streaming service look more popular.
Yeah.
Mhm,
Right.
mhm.
And that's something I've talked to Apollo about a number of times just when we're here in the studio together. It's like, yeah, there are people that have certain numbers that based off, like if you really look into their shit, something like doesn't quite add up maybe. But when it comes to Spotify, like you said, the money's real. So
Right.
like if you get X amount of streams on Spotify, you're getting X amount of
That's what I'm
dollars more than
saying.
someone
Right,
that isn't.
Right.
Yeah.
But if you are doing it in questionable ways, that like basically ways that aren't real, like if you are using streaming farms or
What
shit
the
like
fuck
that,
is that?
it's basically
Bots.
They're bots.
That just play your shit?
yeah, over and over and over and
They're
over.
programmed like by programmers, like, and they're overseas too, so they're harder to track. They use like different VPNs and
Hell
stuff
yeah.
like that.
So, like, essentially, if I had like 6 computers
Yeah.
and I put each computer on this song and I just let this bitch play for like 10 years.
Yeah.
That's,
Yeah, and
You
then
know.
we're talking like multiply your
Yeah.
6 by like a lot.
Yeah.
A whole
Yeah,
farm.
yeah, we're talking right. Yeah, we're talking about a lot of streams. So
well,
yeah.
Spotify registers a stream after 30 seconds. I did look that up.
yeah.
Mhm.
So yeah,
So-
they program them and they just fucking go off. And
so if you listen to the 30-second preview, does that count as a stream?
No, previews do not.
Gotcha.
So, yeah, I mean, but like back to what I was talking to Apollo about, it's like, yeah, that will. I can't be mad at it if it's making you money, but at the same time,
But you're also paying money for it though too.
and it's not it's not a long-term thing.
What's the
No.
what was the gist of the conversation? Because
Like me and Apollo.
yeah, because it kind of sounds like it could be a bunch of things. Where it's like,
Oh yeah, no, we're not talking about doing it. We're like, looking at other artists and being like, man, like how are they, getting all blah blah blah, and so we just end up talking about shit like that, and it's like Mo and I have always, and even you guys were around for a lot of these talks early on and stuff, and I've just always valued real shit. Like you referenced Dags, people. When we were coming up and Twitter was relatively new and people were buying followers and stuff like that, it's like you hit a point then where it's like, well, what of this is real?
Mm.
And there's no value in that then.
Right.
Like if I'm growing, I want to see that growth.
right.
If I'm not, I want to be able to see it so I know.
Mm-hmm.
If you like go off and buy 20,000 followers, but then you actually gain a few followers, you don't even know.
Right.
I just never, there's no value in that. But that's when Spotify becomes interesting because Spotify's paying you.
I mean, and that shit just
Yeah.
equates to just life in general. like the reason that people do shit like that when it doesn't directly benefit them, like a Spotify, like we're saying back in the day, to look a certain way. You know what I'm saying? Even I don't even know. Even if it's like in conversation with like family, it's like, no, ma, look, I got 2,000 followers and just copped them off your credit card. But you know, type shit.
Plus, I think it's like this. From what I see from people, I can imagine it being like this addicting thing that you keep having to chase.
Yeah.
Like, dude, I've been on Twitter. I've been at the exact same number for like a year.
Tell me about it.
And like it even goes down sometimes and goes back up, and it just I'm at like the same number. But if I was constantly so worried about like, no, I gotta put on this front like I'm, you know, my shit's going up, and you know, last month I bought 5,000 followers, so I gotta keep that going, and that'd be exhausting, bro. And then you're just spending money, and anything you end up making is just a sunk cost, anyways.
Well, it's just I just equate it to like everything, like taking advantage of human nature, like even life does, as far as like, dude, why do you think so many people are like in debt and things like that? Everyone's trying to keep up with everybody.
Yeah.
So it's just kind of like they do what they can to be on the same level as what they think that their peers are. And then eventually everyone looks at each other and starts being real with each other. And they're like, oh, you're in debt. I'm in debt. Everybody's in debt that's around me. How the fuck did this happen?
Yeah. And then there's the person that didn't have the nice car and the big ass house and whatever. And then all of a sudden he's 50 years old and looks around and everyone's like, fuck. And he's like,
dude, exactly. Exactly.
Yeah. No, that's a good comparison.
But yeah, it's all about keeping up with the Joneses, especially on
sure.
all of these social media platforms. And yeah, eventually, like, people are going to grow up and realize, what the fuck did I care about this so much for?
That's the craziest thing, is even like, I don't consider myself an old man or an old head in any capacity, but even just like over the past few years, it's just amazing how much less I give a fuck about like any of that shit. Yeah. I can't tell you how long it's been since I've been on Facebook. I probably need to get on to check just in case somebody trying to reach me. But it's like, if that's the case, leave them there. But I just don't have the energy for it like I used to.
Dude, I think about that shit all the time, and it really is fucked up how things just come to you with age and experience, because as much as you want to pass certain knowledge down to, like, dude, I talk to Apollo all the time here. Yeah. I mean, Apollo's what, like 6-7 years younger than me?
Mm-hmm.
Like, especially with the internet and the way technology's gone, I came up in a fairly different age than he did when it comes to music and stuff like that. And
even saying that
and
sounds
the landscape.
Like an old head.
Yeah, I know. But and there's certain random things that I want to, and I have, like, it doesn't mean I don't say it, but I totally understand a younger generation, a younger person not totally taking certain advice, because I probably didn't when I was that age.
Yeah.
Like, there's so many things to look back on and be like, oh yeah, like I'm starting to realize I don't do this anymore. And it's just something that naturally happens with age. It's not something that if someone would have told you back then, you would have done it. Mm-hmm. No, you wanted to do what you wanted to do then, right. And now you want to do what you want to do now. I think it's just getting older and learning and experience and shit. I don't think it's necessarily some like nugget of information. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm.
Situations are so different though. Like, I was even looking at Facebook literally yesterday, and I was like, dude, it is so whack now that in the glory days of Facebook pages, you would have people that followed your page actually see everything that you fucking posted.
Oh my God, don't even get me started.
Now it doesn't. Dude, I looked at the stat, like, on your page the other day, and the post that you just posted yesterday.
The Spec 16.
You have 24,000 followers on your Facebook page, plus, and 1,000 saw the post.
It's because they want you to pay for it. Pay to boost your post.
That's demoralizing. Like, that makes you not want to use it.
Right.
And
it feels not real.
I can't advertise my Spec 16s because I cuss in them.
Dang. Gosh darn. That's crazy.
So, but that's the thing, is it's like, I think it is situational though too, as far as like, it felt way more genuine back in the day.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like, just because of that, the organic factor of it.
Mm-hmm.
Now it really, the organic factor is dying.
There's too much money to be made. It's too much. And like, these companies are like, we want our shit and we can get it all we got to do is, do this.
Yeah.
And people are down with it.
And people value it like it's currency.
Yes.
That's the fucked up shit.
Man. Dang. Twilight Zone's coming out.
If you ever wonder why, money.
For real. Everything.
So,
That amazing.
I was reading this DJ Booth article. Shout out DJ Booth. I feel like some of the more interesting things I come in here with are DJ Booth articles. But it was about songwriting. And it was, you guys know the group one of their members, Drew Love, is a songwriter. And he kind of did this little article with DJ Booth, answered some questions and talked a little bit. And apparently he's written for Ty Dolla, G-Eazy, Black Bear, and some other people. But they were basically talking about the plight of a songwriter and how their cut of a song that they get is so small, and one of the big things was how they have to wait so long to even see any money from something they do.
Mm-hmm.
And that was something that stood out to me as far as like, yeah, that's real. That would be tough to try to make a living as a songwriter, just not knowing when a check's going to come.
Right.
But initially it got me thinking, because I see so many articles on some of these music blogs I follow and stuff like that about how the songwriters aren't getting paid, producers don't get enough payment, artists aren't getting a big enough cut. It's like somebody's lying. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
All right, who's getting
Everybody can't be getting fucked.
Unless we're literally just talking about record label deals.
Right, and then it's always just blame the label, right?
Right.
But I don't like to always blame the label thing.
No,
I
I
feel
don't
like
like
that's
it
a
either.
really weak, because it just
But I feel like there's never an article written about how the record label isn't getting enough payment either.
well, right. I know. But because I do think in a lot of cases the record label is getting a big
Well, yeah,
cut.
for sure.
But I also think the record labels aren't going to be the ones like coming out with articles being like, the record labels aren't getting enough of a cut. But here's my thing, and what I was just thinking about it is like, and I think we've talked about it a few times up here. It seems like a lot of different topics relate to each other somehow.
Yeah.
But I think it's just really easy for artists and creatives to, I don't even want to say overvalue, but maybe not step outside of the creative process into the business area. Because when I was reading this article, it's like he's talking about, he might see 15% of a song or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And let me preface this with, this article did not come across like Drew Love is like complaining about the percentages. It wasn't that. But DJ Booth actually kind of made the headline and whatever into, the struggle of songwriting. And he was kind of referencing these things, but it wasn't some bitch fest. I don't want to act like it was that.
Word.
But he's talking about how, 15% of a song. And I'm sitting there thinking, seems about right.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, what do you guys think just off rip? Like, I don't have some complex thing to dive into, but when you think about all the aspects of, and these people that are doing songwriting, that's for big time artists for the most part.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, there's others, but when you're involved in
most part,
songwriting,
yeah.
going to studios and stuff like that, you're writing for big name artists.
Because usually below that it's ghostwriting.
Yeah.
Right.
Then
Yeah.
that's when you're just kind of.
So yeah, I mean, do you think that's just off rip? Do you think that sounds low?
No, not really.
I don't off rip. I would think like 15, 20. I don't know why. That's
Yeah.
just first thing that pops in my head.
Because, I mean, and obviously it differs why, like, if you have multiple songwriters. And that was one of the things he was saying is, like, you often have co-writers, and that's when it starts to get broken down even more. But it's like, in a lot of these conversations, I just always go back to, and it seems like it gets left out, that everyone needs to remember, why is the money there?
The artist.
That's what I think people need to go back to.
Mm-hmm.
So who's putting this money on the table? Because, and that's where I mean, some of these creatives need to step out of the creative processes. It isn't just, we got in the studio and made the dopest song of all time. Because we could go do that right now. We could go make the dopest song of all time, and that doesn't mean $1 million.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And 15% of that ain't shit.
Right.
But 15% of the song that you make for Ty Dolla $ign
Yeah.
is a big fucking deal. So what's the difference? You could have wrote the same song for me that you did for Ty Dolla $ign, but you're gonna make way more money on his 15%. And I think that gets lost somewhere.
Oh yeah, it definitely does.
And
But I feel like that's just because you have creative minds trying to make sense of a corporate world, I guess is what it is.
That's
it's
real,
like
with those percentages.
I really don't think that, especially somebody that has been in the creative world literally all their life and trying to do that. And I don't want to take anything away from somebody like that and say, you don't understand money or anything like that, because that's not the case. But, dude, I mean, you have to think, like, if you haven't been exposed to it, you're not going to really understand as much as you should about that type of a dealing, or, like, you're going to feel a certain way just because you're so close to your art that, like,
It's just like,
you're going to value your art more than anybody else is going to.
right.
for sure. And I think so many artists think like they did everything, you know, which like they made the song or wrote the words to the song and put them on oftentimes somebody else's beat. And then that got marketed and that got picked up and distributed and that got this, that, and the other thing. And then like by the time this shit went everywhere, because it went everywhere was because of 50 different people.
Yeah.
And you made the song, correct. Yes, that's like the main thing that got people's attention. But if you didn't have those other 50 people's hands touch it, then like what would it have really gotten? And in the corporate world or business world or whatever, I work in sales, you get a commission of a sale because the company gets the money. And you get some of that money. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's the same thing as that.
Yeah, you're right.
And yeah, would I like to make every fucking dollar of every sale? Obviously. But I know that a lot of times, often, most of the time, that these people are coming to our company because of the company, not because of me.
Right.
You know?
Right.
And something that I've done. So I can see both sides of it. And I know like that the artist there's a lot of talent involved in that, especially when you're independent. And I think sometimes when you're independent and you're doing all this shit to grind and like you are doing a lot of it on your own and it's equating to like a smaller chunk, but you're getting all of it. And then you get on a label or something and you're making a fucking huge chunk, but you're getting a little bit of it.
Yeah.
You're still probably getting more, for one, than you were getting when you were on your own.
Yeah.
But it's hard to see like all that money coming in because of my song.
Yeah.
But
Dude, that's the thing, and like stay with me because I'm just spitballing here because you made me think about this. But like, let's say we all got in a room and made a dope ass song, okay, and we put it out with whatever little independent platform we have, and let's say that song generates $10,000, right? That's like a decent estimate of, you know, amount of money we could make on our own off a song. Okay, now we sign to Atlantic or whatever, right? And like now that same song could make $1 million. I mean, legitimately.
Yeah.
And like, I'm an artist, you're a writer, you're a producer, you're an engineer, whatever, right? And now all of a sudden this song, like to your point, I'm the artist and I think this song popped off because of me. And you're the writer and you think it popped off because of you. And you're the producer and you think it popped off because of you.
right.
Meanwhile, Big Bad Label is the one in control of who's getting what here. And Big Bad Label is the one that actually made this song
Pop up.
$990,000.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, there's a happy medium there where labels aren't shit without artists. They're not creative. There's no product.
Correct. Exactly.
So I'm not saying like, look at all the shit the label does. And it's funny, like as this podcast has gone on, we started like this big independent music, and I feel like so often I've had to not had to, but I've come up here kind of like being skeptical about some of these things and almost like defending the other side a little bit because I think people go way too far with it. And I think is that a fair example to give?
It is, because if you could literally even simplify it even more. You could literally, I mean, all of us have worked for a company at some point in our lives.
Yeah.
How did that company become a thing? Like, how did a label become a thing?
Mm-hmm.
So you hire employees to a company and they do all the work for you. Say you have 10 employees, just, I don't know, like it's a bakery or something like that. And you
this is a perfect example. Personal trainers.
Yeah.
So, and I've seen this example a number of times because everybody pushes this in the personal training world. You have a big brand name gym that everyone knows. So that's going to get business no matter what. You could be a personal trainer, go to this place, and you could you could be a personal trainer at this place, and you're getting $50 an hour. Mm-hmm. But you're getting 15 of those dollars.
Right.
Or you could go to your house and train these people and make, for $30 an hour, you're getting all 30 of the dollars. So you're making more money. But how much more traffic are you getting in this gym because people are just in and out of this gym? You can have a client for 8, 12 hours a day, every day of the week.
Right.
And there's equipment there that you don't have to maintain.
Yep,
and
exactly.
All these other things.
All
That's
these
a good
other
comparison.
things that provides. Mm-hmm. And at your house, you might have 3 clients a day.
Right.
Like 5 days a week instead of all 7 if you want.
And to bring that full circle, you could grind your ass off, take some time, and fill your days with clients.
Yes.
Which like is a successful independent artist.
Exactly.
But that's really hard.
It's a
But
task.
here's the argument that I hear from the other side that I hate. But I'll just throw this out there. They're like, never do any work deal at all unless it's a partnership. Dude, is any company that you're going to work for giving your 10 employees 10%, 10%, 10%, 10%? No. The company doesn't exist if that happens.
Right.
Yeah.
So if everybody worked off of that rule, literally nothing would exist.
And that's why I think the biggest thing I think everybody needs to start to understand in this landscape is there isn't just like a blanket thing to throw over it. There isn't a cookie cutter thing. It goes back to what we talked about when we were talking about like Nipsey and Russ and those type of people and building up leverage.
Exactly.
People that are able to build up leverage on their own, yes,
Dope.
get yourself a partnership.
Yeah.
Like because you're good on your own. You don't need them.
And they don't start with the partnership.
Right.
Right.
It's all about leverage.
Exactly.
And once you don't need them, that's when you get your great deal.
Mm-hmm.
If you feel like you need them, you're not going to get the illest deal in the world. You're not going to get a partnership. If I feel like I need to go get a job, I'm not going to fall into one where they're like, yeah, you're a partner, whatever. It's like, hey, we'll give you minimum wage.
Right.
And yeah, I'm going to go to work bitching about my minimum wage, whatever. It's not going to be, but I didn't have any leverage.
Right.
And I think that's just what people need to start to understand is like, because one person did it this way doesn't mean that like, oh, you didn't do it this way. You're stupid. You should have. No, maybe you couldn't have. And maybe your shit is actually decent for what you had. Maybe you did sign a bad deal. Maybe whatever. And hopefully you learned, you got to be able to choose. It's like you said with the personal training. When someone has that choice, do I go to this established gym or do I try to do it on my own? You got to know what you're getting into then.
For sure.
And for a lot of people, going to the gym and having all the overhead off your back and knowing that you're going to have clients and all this stuff, the stability of it is worth it. A little less money per client or whatever.
Sure.
Maybe that's worth it and you do it.
Right.
But maybe but then there's certain people out there that are like, fuck it. I have the resources. I can do this shit. I can build up my client base. It's going to take time.
Yeah.
And they do it. And they're going to reap the benefit of it, but it's going to be a lot more work than the person that chose to go to the gym.
Yeah.
And it's different people. Neither one of them's wrong.
Exactly.
That's the key.
Exactly.
That's what I feel like it gets into with music is that there's like a right way to do it.
Yeah.
I don't think there is.
No. No, it's like with anything, dude. I don't
exactly.
understand where
With
people got
everything.
this mentality that music is different than everything else. That
Right.
it's a fuck. If
It's
you're
a
gonna make money
microcosm.
off of it, it's a job, dude.
Yeah.
That's what it
Exactly.
is.
No, it's all the same shit.
It's
Real
because
shit.
everybody wants all the fame and shit. They don't care. Like we talk about the business aspect of the things a lot because that's the thing nobody fucking gets.
Yeah.
Right.
Until you have to deal with it.
Right.
And that's
you have to
probably a
deal with it.
bigger part of it than you having a dope
Yeah.
car.
That's why I thought that article was kind of interesting too. Is he was just kind of talking about like from a real standpoint of I got to be in LA to do this because that's where all the studio sessions are and stuff. He was like, it's expensive to live out here, like so it's hard not getting paid. Like you might go write a song for somebody, it becomes a song maybe 6 months later. Okay, are we going to put it on the album? Okay, let's set up the tour. Okay, let's shoot the video. Okay, let's go on the press run. Okay, then the song comes out. Then it still takes months to be able to like actually get the check, then pay everybody. You probably don't get paid for a long ass time after you actually put your work in, and that's got to be weird. But it's like he does, the smart thing he does. He's an artist too. And he goes and tours on his own and he does these other things and makes money other ways, and that's what you should do because unfortunately that is just the nature of the songwriting business. There's good things and there's bad things about it.
I think every like super successful person right now in this day and age tells you that you have to have multiple incomes.
Mm-hmm.
In order to live it's all about just whatever lifestyle you want. Like
Live within
are you okay with just having like rice and beans every night, or are you not? Like,
and that's the thing for me. And like I said, I don't want to act like he was coming across in this article feel sorry for me, but I do feel like I read articles like that sometimes with the music business, like, oh, the plight of whatever. And it's like, dude, you could compare that to other people who are trying to come up with multiple streams of income.
Yeah.
If you're a dope ass songwriter and you're in the industry around these managers and artists and all this shit, that's actually probably one of the easier ways to get yourself multiple streams of income. If you're that dope of a songwriter in the room with those people, be an artist yourself. Go do these other things. Like, you can make money.
Yeah.
And it's in something that you enjoy.
Right.
So much of that shit comes down to that for me. Like, I'm out here grinding on like this, like little ass golf tour, making like $1,000 when I win. Like, I get that. That's like a struggle, and you have to work 10 times harder than other people, and you probably have no money in your bank account, but like I'd fucking probably do that.
Well, and you can make
If I
it
were
happen
good
with
enough to
other
do it.
revenue streams. Like, dude, there's no shortage of jobs. Like, you can do
Be
it
a
for as long
personal
as you want
trainer
to do
while
it.
you're fucking doing golf things, or you can sell real estate, or like you know, like you can. Today you're not locked into many things.
No,
as long as you're not
be the
under some
lower level
corporate label.
golfer and deliver pizzas.
Well, and that's what Drew Love was
Real
saying
love.
too. He was like, he kept referencing, you just got to work harder than other people.
Yeah.
And I think that's real. Like,
Yeah.
he seems like the type of guy that was just like, I'm going to go do this shit and I'm going to make it happen. And
Yeah.
I fuck with that because I do feel
Yeah,
like
hell
those are
yeah.
the people that end up winning in the end.
Yeah,
Many
definitely.
people don't.
Every field.
They
establish
want
good habits,
the real
yeah.
shit, the big time shit, but they're not willing to
Bless you.
do the things.
Thank you.
All right, last topic. You guys see the MSU football unis,
Ugh.
the
Yeah.
alternates.
I don't like them things.
Okay, can you pull those up, Mo?
I can.
No.
Honestly, if it, like the pants really put it over the fucking horrible edge.
The barf pants?
Yeah. Like the state thing, it's obnoxious and it's like too much for sure. I agree. But then we had to do neon pants. Like,
Yeah,
can't we
why?
fucking relax this neon craze?
That's what pisses me off, bro. I hated every time the hoop team
So do I.
went out there in those lime green, whatever uniforms. They're terrible. And it isn't just like I'm against everything. Everything needs to be old school and I'm against the bright color, whatever. I just think they look terrible.
They do.
And dude, so for these football unis,
like Oregon.
yeah, that whole state in the front is awful. I don't care what color it is.
Yeah, exactly.
But then you make that shit lime green. Why, dude? If you guys want to make some alternates, I feel like state could have some dope black uniforms.
They could.
Have black pants, black uniform. Use green and white as like your normal green and white
Dude,
as the other shit.
And honestly, it's the same as, like you said, we have the all neon basketball unis. Those are fucking brutal, like hard to look at. But at least like the black ones with the neon aren't quite as
They're not
fucking absurd.
god awful. Yeah,
I mean, I still
it's like
hate
you said.
them,
If
but-
these pants were black, it wouldn't be as bad.
right.
But dude, if you just have a black uni there, and like those white helmets we got, that'd be a sick uniform. It'd be a dope alternate.
Green
Yeah.
trim.
But Man,
them
this
joints look like some watermelon jerseys.
Mo, you should.
Put the number.
Oh shit, that's gross.
There was the one I posted that was going around, like the MSU Twitter account posted it too. The gloves on the uniforms were Seahawks gloves.
Yeah, so
Wow.
So then when someone pointed that out to me, I was like, oh, so this is fake? Good. But it's not fake.
it's not fair.
No.
Someone just trolled you.
Are we the Michigan State Seahawks now?
What do you mean someone trolled me?
Was that like a real thing?
Yeah. Like the MSU account that tweeted it out had that.
Because
Had
no
the
one else
Seahawks,
is
bro.
wearing fucking neon gloves.
Oh my god, bro.
Yeah, those are bad.
We gotta
It
get.
was like the actual Michigan State football account.
It was a Michigan State account. You can go to my Twitter page. if you
Well,
want.
I mean, was it a legit one though?
Oh no, it was a parody account.
Well, this is the verified Michigan State football account.
Well, I mean,
don't go retweeting unverified.
I'm
shit.
sure we're not. I'm sure we're not. Rocking the Seahawks uniforms.
Are you
I'm just
sure,
saying
though?
it was weird.
It's not weird this day on the internet.
A little second time around.
Second time around.
All right. Well, we're gonna get out of here. Green Mitten doing their grand
Yay.
store opening in Grand Rapids
Bark.
on Saturday.
Bark.
Doors
420.
open at 11 a.m.
Again.
They're gonna be open till 9 p.m. and then they're doing a little after party at the bar right next door, Triangle Bar. You're gonna have free pizza, cheap drinks, some music. For those that want to go, it's in Grand Rapids. It's 1188 Walker Ave, Grand Rapids. I'm gonna be there. Q and I were just talking about it. I'm not. I'll let you guys know tomorrow. What time? I'm not sure exactly if I'm gonna go earlier or later. But I will let you guys know for sure. So I hope to see some of you there. I know they're really excited about that. It's about to be dope.
Yeah.
Really dope.
Other than that,
CBD, woo.
you guys got any last words?
No. Go Pistons.
Yo.
Try not to lose by 40.
Straight up.
I agree.
Let's get a D-Town.
All right, guys. Peace.
Yeah.